Nandita, welcome to the World Vegan Travel Podcast. Let's start by having you introduce yourself. Where in the world are you and what is it that you do?
Hi, it's great to be on here finally. And right now I'm in Helsinki, where I live, and it's the peak of summer. It's really been a couple of warm weeks, so it's been a great time here. And yeah, so in the vegan travel space, I'm a travel blogger. I'm the creator of the blog called Vegan Haven Travel, which has been around for 5 years now. So yeah, I share travel guides there and just a lot of dining suggestions and all those kind of things that interest vegan and ethical travelers, and also hotel reviews and those kind of things.
And you also have a YouTube channel and Instagram account as well, right?
Yes, yeah. Instagram and YouTube mainly. Yeah.
So you're originally from India, but you're now based in Finland, which is quite a change. Can you share what brought you to Finland and what that transition was like?
Yeah, so it's always an interesting story. And actually now it's been almost 10 years since I've been in Finland. Yeah, so I'm happy to share. I was brought up in India and I'm from India. So I live mainly in Delhi, although my native place is Kerala in South India. I've not ever lived there, but I used to go there all the time for holidays and stuff. But anyways, I've lived mainly in Delhi and a few other cities in India. But I also moved back to Delhi for my college. And then I already had an idea that I would like to go abroad for higher education. So yeah, that's how I got thinking about where I would go. And so I was thinking about countries and I didn't want to go anywhere like typically where students go from India, like USA or Canada and the UK. Those are the typical places, English-speaking countries. And I knew of Finland from a few times before, and I was really interested in how unique the country is. And I had heard all nice things, like the nature and fresh air and water and everything. And also, when I was a teenager, I really liked music from Finland. Those kind of things just really got me interested. And I was like, okay, I'm going to try Finland one day. And then I also found out they have a really good education system. And at the point, they had free education for master's programs and international degrees. So that's also a good point. So one summer, I had the chance to visit Finland as a summer school just for 1 month. So I really went for it. And it was a really great experience. Just the next year, I applied for the university master's program and I got in. So that was just how I ended up here.
This is something that I think blows a lot of people's mind. And you mentioned that they used to do it, so maybe they don't do it anymore, that Finland offered or offers free master's programs, even for international students.
It used to be free. They've changed it recently, like a few years ago. It used to be free for all, like outside Europe as well, but it's not anymore. And I guess you could still come here, but you need to apply for a scholarship or something because it gets really expensive.
Oh, okay. So unfortunately, it's not available anymore. A question I have is the tuition fees for international students as expensive as places like the UK, the US or Canada, or are they considered more reasonable? Maybe you don't know the answer to that, but I'm curious.
Yeah, I believe it's pretty much the same, but the living expenses here are also quite a bit. So I think it probably adds up to a lot more. So that was one of the reasons a lot of international students would even choose Finland, like when they had free tuition. So now they might just try to apply to UK or other countries instead.
Ah, I see. And did you need to speak Finnish in order to study in Finland?
No, not at all. My degree program was in English, so I didn't need to do it. But I still did a few Finnish courses just to get into the culture and everything.
Amazing, amazing. And may I ask which fields you study?
Yes, of course. So I studied in the science field. It was specifically atmospheric science, so those kind of environmental studies and greenhouse gas emissions and those kind of things.
Interesting. Okay. So what inspired you to start travel blogging, ethical travel blogging, and how has your journey changed over time?
When I started the travel blog, I was already traveling quite often, and that was mainly came to Europe and Finland. Finland is part of the European travel zone, so whenever I got free time, I just explored a lot of countries, and so I really wanted to share the experiences, and travel for me has to be ethical and responsible travel. So I wanted to share some tips or just share my experiences and people will get some ideas from that.
And what has been the most impactful place that you've traveled to so far?
Oh, that's interesting. Could be a lot of places. I'm always inspired by every place I travel to. There's always something. Asia and India is always quite an experience because it's so different from here. Otherwise, I've mainly traveled in Europe. A lot of European countries tend to be quite similar to each other, I would say. Every place inspires me in some way.
And you actually became vegan once you arrived in Finland, correct? How did that come to pass?
Yeah, so it wasn't immediately, but a couple of years in, I did start to think about eating habits. Previously in India, I guess the food was mainly vegetarian. I didn't eat red meat. So I didn't think about it really. I just avoided those things. But in Finland, you would see a lot of meat and it's part of the food here. At one point, I was just thinking that maybe I should change to more healthier or eco-friendly since I'm thinking about animals a lot. Maybe I just got a habit at some point when I was a kid. And actually in India, the only kind of meat that's common is chicken and fish. So anyways, at university, we always had a vegetarian option. So when there's meat, I would always choose a vegetarian option. And then at some point, I came across some sort of clip somewhere in Facebook or something of a chicken factory. And that really upset me. So then I just decided to go vegetarian, like on the spot. It wasn't such a big deal for me because I cared about animals. But only then I went vegan because in Finland, there's a small group of activists who hold these set of demonstrations. Someone gave me this card with some information. And I was like, yeah, I'm vegetarian already, but I'm going to check this out. I ended up watching some of the documentaries there. And I think that's how I found out about veganism. I just didn't know about this before, that dairy was so bad. And I watched a Simon clip, like, dairy is scary. So that was it.
So you decided to make the switch. Was it easy going vegan in Finland or more challenging?
Yeah, so since I'd already been vegetarian, like just before that, it was quite easy because I made the decision to be vegan, like just suddenly, that it was like from an ethical standpoint. So I didn't really think it's going to be hard or tough. It's just something I would do. And so probably the next time I went grocery shopping, I just didn't pick any dairy. I was already having dairy alternatives because I'm not a big fan of dairies. It was pretty easy. There was already a lot of products in the Finnish stores that had oat creams. And actually, before I went vegan, I used to have oat lattes quite often because there was just one point I went to a cafe and they asked, do you want oat milk or regular milk? I was like, what is oat milk? And then I would just order oat milk all the time. So it was pretty easy, the transition. And I didn't really care about the nutrition thing. I didn't have the mindset that we need to eat meat to get nutrients or something because I wasn't brought up to think that. So it was pretty fine. Yeah.
It's interesting that you mentioned about oat milk because one of my best friends, she is Finnish. She's not vegan. She's like a pescatarian, I'd say. But of course, over the years, I've learned quite a lot about Finland from her. And it's interesting because oats is one of the big crops in Finland because it can grow in cooler climates.
Exactly.
So when you're having oat milk in Finland, it's actually like a local product almost.
Yeah, it's grown a lot there. It's used also a lot in other stuff. And porridge is a very common food, like oatmeal. And actually, there's also this protein, which is pulled oats. Somehow they use it.
I know it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, I remember when that product was first released, my friend Maya, she actually brought some after her summer holidays for me and Seb to try. I don't think it's got popular around the world, but it's a really good product. So let's talk a little bit about Finland, being vegan in Finland and what there is to do in Finland, specifically Helsinki. Let's first of all get oriented a little bit about Helsinki, like where it is and what the climate is like, the population size, etc.
Yes, so Helsinki is the capital and the biggest city of Finland. It's in the southern coast. And the population is about 500,000, I would say. And the whole population of Finland is about 5.5 million. Most of the population lives in the south, like in the cities in the south. Helsinki is quite a small city compared to other European capitals. It's very compact and nice green spaces. It's a nice place to stay.
Fabulous. And if I understand well, like when I look at Helsinki on a map, it's really surrounded by so many water and lakes when you go to that part of Finland, correct?
Yeah, we have a lot of islands here. The landscape is quite, if there's some mountains or anything, but it's coastal and there's a lot of small islands around the whole southern coast of Finland. Yeah, and it's great for island hopping and those kind of things.
And what's the climate like?
Helsinki is generally cold. Right now it's warm and it's amazing because it's a few weeks of the year. But by the time it's end of August, September, it starts getting cooler. And then we have almost 6 months or 5 months of winter, like maybe end of November to March or April. And it only starts getting warm actually in end of June. And July and August are quite warm. So it's the best time to be here. And we don't get as much snow as the north, but January, February, even March can be quite snowy. And also don't come here in November because it's really dark. It starts getting like really dark early in the day. There's way less daylight and there's no snow at all. There may be a little snow, but it doesn't stay. And it's just like really gloomy.
Okay, Helsinki, but not in November. I love it. I love it. So can you tell us a little bit about what things that there are to do? What are some attractions for people to visit Finland? I'm talking like amazing neighborhoods and cool shopping areas or place with history.
Yeah, so Helsinki is a really cool place for art and design. It has a lot of museums. There's a design district with all this sort of amazing boutiques and the architecture is this sort of Art Nouveau, if that's what it's called. And yeah, I think you don't need a lot of days to explore Helsinki because it's small and there's maybe a couple of days just for the city center to see the main attractions. So the main thing you can do here is take a small walking tour. First, see all the main sites. There's the White Church and this square over there, which is really pretty. And then you can walk down the Esplanade walking path and we can visit a few museums on the way. There's the Atheneum Art Museum, which is really great, and the Modern Art Museum Kiasma. And nearby there is a lovely kind of Finnish style villa, which has a cafe, and it's a vegan cafe. So I always recommend this.
Oh.
It's Kahvila Rakastan. It's a Finnish name, so you would have to look it up. It's near the Natural History Museum, I think, but it's really nice. And you can actually taste these Finnish kind of style foods, like these pies, and also like just a simple lunch there. There's also another thing you could do if you have half a day, take the ferry to go to Suomenlinna, which is a UNESCO heritage site. It's a kind of sea fortress, so it's just beautiful if you take a ferry. It's just 15 minutes by ferry, and it's included in your public transport ticket. You can go there even if you visit winter, because the boats are always going, even if there's ice, because people live on the island, so there's always a connection. And you can maybe finish exploring it in a couple of hours, or you can also do a picnic there, and it's just nice to walk around. Since there's not so much to do in Helsinki, I would definitely suggest like some experience going to the national park, which is just outside the city. We have one called Nuxio, and there's almost like wilderness that you wouldn't see otherwise. It's really nice. You can go on a guided tour or some hike, and you can visit the nature center there and also have a lakeside sauna. So that would be also a good thing to do. So sauna is like a big part of Finnish culture and tradition. It's just a normal thing, part of daily life here. So there's like saunas in every building. Like even we have one and we have a turn every week. It's not something special we would do like just once in a year or something, but it's seen as like a wellness and self-care. It's good for mind and body. Modern day saunas are electric, so the stove is heated with electricity, and there's like a bunch of stones which get heated up. So you have to throw water on them, and then it steams the room. So it's just like a hot room, and the temperatures could get like 60 degrees, 80 degrees, really hot. So the thing is to go a bit for 10-15 minutes, throw some water to the stones, and just get a bit warmed up, heated up, and then you can take a break and go back in a few times like that. So it's really refreshing. The most traditional saunas, you don't find them in buildings because they are wood-fired. You would have wooden logs and burn it like a small fireplace. And that heats up the stones on top. And you can find those also everywhere, like in spas or like some sort of cabins or wherever you go. There's also a nice experience. It's a bit different. And there's also smoke saunas where there's a bit of smoke seeping out and creates this sort of smell. So it's really nice. And the best part is when you have a lake and you can go and swim after getting heated up. People go in summer to sauna and also in winter. So it's like just really part of life here.
Yes, I mean, it's interesting. Most houses will have their own sauna as well. We were lucky enough to stay with my friend in the Arctic Circle over Christmas at her family home, which was amazing. And of course, they had a sauna there, and several times we went and enjoyed the sauna.
Yeah, amazing.
I remember going outside and just falling into the snow. Oh my goodness, I'm still a little traumatized by it. But yes, it sounds with all of this like water around and everything. Could you explain how people can get around Helsinki? Maybe it's walkable, but maybe you talked about these islands and ferries. Like, how do people navigate all of that?
Yes, so Helsinki is super walkable. There's footpaths everywhere. And it's actually bad for cars because it's not a lot of space and the parking is really expensive and there's few parking spots. So never rent a car in Helsinki. You can walk around the main sites, and then public transport is really good. So even if you want to go anywhere, you can check the app. It takes you everywhere. I don't have a car, so I get around just with buses and trams. There's a metro. The metro system just goes east to west. There's one line. It's like the simplest metro system in the world, I think. But there's trams and buses that take you around. And the islands, they have ferries. There's just the one I mentioned that goes to Suomenlinna, which is included in the public transport ticket. But the other ones, you can pay a little fee, and then you can go to any of the islands. They depart from different terminals. If you look like Google Maps or something, it will show you the route with the ferry.
I see. Okay, that's handy to know. Is English widely spoken in Helsinki and Finland generally?
Yeah, so English is widely understood, especially in Helsinki, I would say. And a lot of Finnish people, they learn English, I think, in schools. I heard this from someone, but gaming and those kind of things, they use English to speak. The two official languages here are actually Finnish and Swedish, but Swedish is not really spoken by Finnish people. There are Swedish-speaking Finns that are like a few percentage of population, but otherwise Swedish is not widely spoken. English is rather understood and spoken, especially in Helsinki and like the cities, and especially tourist sites, of course, they know how to use English. So there's no issue with language here.
Maybe you can confirm this for me. If I understand, the reason why there are some people whose first language is Swedish is because of, in history, Sweden essentially owned Finland. Is that correct?
Yeah, the Swedish Empire was ruling over Finland. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. And I'm curious, do the Swedish speakers, are they closer to the Sweden border generally?
Yeah, actually, there's the more Swedish-speaking towns in the western coast of Finland somehow, which is nearer to Sweden. So, yeah, you can find them there.
Okay. And are all of the signs and everything in both languages in that area or everywhere?
Yeah, actually, since it's official language, like in Helsinki, you have signs both in Finnish and Swedish. And that was one thing that confused me when I first came here. These things have two names, and like the central railway station has a long Finnish name, but the Swedish name is even longer, and I still can't pronounce it. And like, it's like really confusing for tourists, I think. And also the train, the train stops when they announce that it's in Finnish and then Swedish. So it's like, what is going on? I don't know.
Wow, that's so interesting. Okay. So Helsinki seems like an absolutely lovely place to go to. I'm curious about the vegan scene. Is like, I'm thinking from a tourist perspective where they're probably not going out to the supermarket too much, because Finnish food traditionally isn't super vegan friendly, I would say. They've got a lot of plant-based ingredients, but meat is often used, and dairy. Can you talk to that? Like, what are your favorite places, vegan places in Helsinki? And maybe there are some really good places with vegan friendly options.
Yeah, so Helsinki vegan scene is changing, I would say, and it's pretty good in general, but I think there was better options maybe pre COVID times, like before 2020, because we had a lot of vegan restaurants that were fully vegan. And a lot of them shut down in this time in the last few years. A few new ones have come, but not that many. So I would say we have 12 or something vegan around the city, which doesn't sound like a lot, but Helsinki is not such a big city. So that's pretty all right. And also it's improved in a way. A lot of restaurants that are not vegan have vegan options. I think now almost every restaurant you go to will have a vegan option. So you can just go to any restaurant. And it's not just in the cities. I've been to some places like a small town in the countryside, and they might have vegan option. That might be surprising. It's not always there, but also you can ask the staff. They will always make it because they really understand dietary specifications here, I would say. So they have to make you one if you ask them. If you have like a gluten-free or some allergy, they would do that. So that way it's good. And yeah, my favorite vegan spots are like downtown. Like there's the Thai vegan kitchen, which is like an old one. And actually the owner was an activist. I actually met her at an activist event. So she didn't start the restaurant then. It was like a few years later. So it was really nice and still around. And they also have a small branch called Peace Kitchen. So that's for Thai food. It's pretty good. I've never tasted such good Thai food. So you have to visit that one. And there are a lot of cafes that have food as well, like brunches and stuff that are vegan. There's one called Encanto, which is on the way to the ferry terminal to Tallinn. And yeah, there are a few buffet places that are also really nice and fully vegan. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Are there any like specific, like real standout places in Helsinki where you can get maybe vegan versions of traditional Finnish food? Is that something that's possible or not yet?
There's not so much traditional Finnish vegan food, but there's the one I mentioned, Kavilerakassan, that has these Karelian pies, which are small like pastries with toppings and stuff. It's made with rye crust, which is like a kind of grain, and it's filled with rice porridge and different toppings. They have vegan caviar there. They have a tofu egg butter. I don't know. It's something like that. And it's really salty treat, but it's like a Finnish traditional thing. You can get them all vegan there. Yeah.
Did you say Karelian pie or something?
Yes, yeah. Karelian pies are rice pies, as they're called. Yes.
My friend made vegan versions of us. She was such a wonderful host making vegan versions of Finnish dishes. I can't remember the names of them all now. So another question I have, because you said like Helsinki, you can pretty much finish it, see all of the big things to see within 2-3 days or so. What are some really fun day trips that people could go on from Helsinki?
Yeah, so usually when people travel to Helsinki, it's part of a package of trips. They visit the other capitals in the north, not in Europe, like Tallinn is one and Stockholm. I understand that's a good idea as well because they're quite close together and you can just stop by Helsinki. But if you're in Helsinki, Tallinn is the best day trip you could do. The first time I came to Finland, I just took a day and just went to Tallinn. It was really amazing because they have this medieval town.
Can I just interrupt you for a moment? Because I think people might not know that we're talking about another country. It's Estonia, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so Tallinn is in Estonia. So you can visit another country. And it's the closest capital to Helsinki. And it's just 2.5 hours by ferry. So it's pretty easy to get there. There's a lot of, maybe about 3 ship lines going there every day. You can do a day trip, but I would suggest also staying a couple of days overnight and then coming back or something like that, because it's nice to not rush back to the ship. You get like, on day cruise, you get like a few hours on land, maybe 5 or 6 hours at the most. It's good. If you don't have time, you can just see the old town. It's walkable distance from the ship terminal, which is also a good thing. And then you have like a few hours to explore, maybe check out a lunch spot and then come back to the ship. But you have to be quick, so not to miss the ship, which I missed maybe once. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And Tallinn is really popular for also Finnish people to go to because it's cheaper than Helsinki. Yeah, so sometimes I just go there to shop groceries. Yeah, most people, Finnish people, go to shop beer. So you will see like huge trolleys of beer going in the ship. Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, all right. So that's really interesting. As I mentioned, my friend Maya, she's goes to Finland frequently and she spends a lot of time in Helsinki. And she's always going to visit family members' cottages by the lake.
Yeah.
Can you do that from Helsinki? And can you explain a little bit about this sort of cottage life, cottage culture that they've got going on?
Yeah, it's amazing. So most Finnish families, not all, but like most of them have a family cottage, which has been there for some generations or something. And it's a place you go away from the city to relax. And during midsummer especially, you are at the cottage and enjoy the nature and lakeside and stuff. I go there quite often because my partner is Finnish and his family has a cottage in southern Finland by the lake. So we are quite often there. Yeah, it's amazing. So if you come to Helsinki midsummer time, the city is going to be pretty empty because everyone is in their cottage at that time.
Fabulous. And I imagine people are just spending their time just relaxing and enjoying being in nature and swimming, etc.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes. It seems to me that Finnish people are doing work-life balance really well. I regularly score highly in like world's happiest people, and there's so many reasons for that. I'm sure most of the listeners here will know some of them for sure, but the fact that they just feel so content and happy just by spending a weekend or a week of their summer holidays by the lake is just so lovely.
Yeah, I think, it's part of the happiness factor that there's a good work-life balance. There, you don't have to work like extra hours all the time. And actually in summer, the companies, there's a rule here, you have to take 2 weeks off. You have to take holidays in summer. Some people take a month and you can gather extra hours by working at other times.
That is so interesting. When I consider just how many people find it really hard to get weeks off in the summer because, for example, during the summer holidays when everyone wants to take that time off, they can't give that time off to people because it's so much in demand. Whereas in Finland, not only must people have the opportunity to take it off, they must take off. And why would the government mandate that? It seems really weird.
Yeah, it's funny because everyone is away in July. It's pretty quiet in July here. There's not a lot happening. You just have to enjoy the summer because it's the best time of the year and you can work later.
I love it. I love it. Fabulous. Now, I approve of all of that. You talked about how November is really not a good time to go to Helsinki and to southern Finland. Can you tell me about some really good times to go to Finland or Helsinki? And it could be because of the weather, but it also might be to attend or to participate in cultural festivals, or it might be to avoid them. And maybe also I know like skiing is a big thing there as well. So maybe that's a good time to avoid if you are not interested in skiing. Can you give us a bit of a sense of the different seasons for visitors and what seasons are right for which travelers?
So for Helsinki, personally, I would recommend coming in summer because it's the best time, especially July and even August, because you still have long days. In June, it might not always be that warm and people are on holiday and stuff till the beginning of July. So yeah, come to Helsinki in summer, July, August. And in winter, I would not recommend coming to Helsinki because it's really cold, it's really windy. And if you come to Finland in winter, it would be to the northern part of Finland, Lapland. So most people do come there for Christmas, which is also like the most expensive time ever. And you have to book way before, otherwise it's all booked out. There's a Santa Claus village. If you really want to come during Christmas time, then you have to book in advance and stuff. It's really tough to get a place. But if you can avoid that time, I would suggest coming in February and March because there's a lot of snow there then. And the Santa Claus village is still open for like the whole year. If you don't have to come in Christmas, you can still go to it later. And you can explore the rest of Lapland. There's a lot of snow. And ski resorts, they don't really get that crowded here, but it's really great for those who are interested in skiing. They have really nice ski resorts in Finland. The skiing is pretty nice because it's nicely maintained ski slopes, and we don't have huge mountains here, so it's just mild hills. There's some could be really steep, and I don't think you can go there if you're not experienced. You have to know how to downhill ski. I've tried it a few times. Like I try to learn it, but it's really scary, so I try to avoid that. For the north, you should come in winter, and Helsinki preferably in summer.
Yes, and of course the Northern Lights as well. Unfortunately, for the week that I was in Rovaniemi, there weren't any Northern Lights, and then we left and there were incredible Northern Lights. So I haven't had much luck, but I hope to get back one day. I just had an absolute blast, and we did so many fun things during that week. We were so lucky because we were able to stay in a friend's family home. We did snowmobiling and we went to Santa's village and we queued up and we got photos taken. And one really unique thing that we did that maybe tourists wouldn't do, but it was so cool. We had a young person traveling with us, my friend's son. He was about 11 or so by that time. And we were actually there for Christmas Eve, which of course is the day when the main celebrations happen and the gifts are given out. And my friend was actually able to hire a Santa to come to the house. And it wasn't even that expensive. And this Santa, who stayed with us for about 45 minutes and gave out the gifts, he was the most incredible looking Santa I have ever seen in my life.
I wish I could see a picture of that, but yeah, it sounds funny.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it was really special. So for people who are traveling to Finland for the first time, do you have any tips on what they should pack or what they should be prepared for so that they won't get caught out?
If you come in winter, of course, get at least one good jacket, like a winter jacket. And boots, snow boots have to be waterproof, and gloves. The hands are the most important because your hands will freeze the minute you expose them in winter. It's the worst thing. And also headgear and things like that. And don't pack a lot. It's just enough to get the outer wear. You can get a thermal, but just also wear it when you come so you don't have to pack it in a bag. And you don't have to get a lot of food. For vegan travelers, there's a lot of snacks and food here. You don't have to worry. So yeah, don't really pack a lot of stuff.
I love it. Fabulous. Thank you so much, Nandita, for coming on the show and talking to us about Finland. We've never had a show about Finland before, so I'm very excited that you have joined us today. Please, would you remind our listeners how they can access your amazing travel guides on your blog and also follow you on social media?
Yes, of course. So my website is veganhaventravel.com. So you can find all the guides there. You can search by destination, which are mostly European destinations and a few in Asia. I don't have any posts on India there yet because it would be crazy to just start. I have 100 posts I could write, but I just haven't started yet. I have a lot of other drafts going on. But anyways, you can contact me if you have any questions about the guides that are there, or also India. I can still answer them. And if you want an immediate answer, you can also contact me on Instagram, which is @veganhaventravel, and follow me and also share my content would be really nice. And I also have a YouTube channel where I post clips. I have a lot of long form content coming up. So you can find me there @veganhaventravel.
I love it. Thank you so much, Nandita, for being on the show.
Thank you so much. It was great to chat.